Hello, all you Gary Brains above and beyond and around the world. We are getting close to the 30th anniversary of Ghostbusters, so I thought I'd break out this baby because it is awesome and I am ready for this. It's going to come out in theaters soon, so make sure you guys get your tickets now because it's only going to be here for a week. Yes, only 1 week to get this, but that is not why we're all here. Of course you're not. We are here. No, unfortunately, it's not going to be Guardians of the Galaxy, but that will be our next adventure, so don't, so stay tuned for that. But let's get down to business because we're going to go over the Greek mythology. Yes, we're going to go over Hercules. Yes, unfortunately, it's another version of this myth. It's with Dwayne the Rock Johnson, or as I call him, The Rock, because let's be honest, he was The Rock first, sort of. Just stay with me on this. Yes, Dwayne Johnson plays Hercules in this. It's actually a real fun movie to watch. I personally, if you guys know me, I love Greek mythology. I love learning about it. I actually took a couple courses in college about this. It was amazing. I love learning about this stuff. The Hydra, the 12 labors, all is which in this movie, and it was actually done well enough where I was completely okay with the way they did it. Now, if you go back in time, there are movies that do Hercules some justice and some don't do justice. Like Disney's actually was actually okay because they actually brought in elements of uh, other gods, other Greek mythology myths, and as well as a really fun, beautiful story. You also have uh, Clash of the Titans, which is not accurate at all, which is completely dumb, completely stupid, and was I just spit on that if I can. And then probably right nowadays you actually have Percy Jackson. It somewhat has a relevance to Greek mythology. His books, Rick Riordan's books, are based off of it. So, and he takes it from Greek mythology. He takes certain situations, certain characters, but he adds his own flair to it, which makes it more interesting to the story because they'll eventually add Percy and his friends to items that others do. That other Greek that the Greek mythology stories. This is actually from beginning to end the the story of Hercules. They go not a lot. I don't think I've seen a movie from Hercules that went through the 12 labors, which is very interesting to do because it's a very hard thing to do. There are 12 labors and you can't really fit 12 labors into one particular movie within like maybe 2 hours or maybe 2.5. I forgot how long this was. It was probably around maybe like 140 to 2 hours. This the way that they did the labors was actually very interesting because they mentioned all 12. They only showed only a few, which I found to be really weird because I would like to see at least glimpses of other certain ones. They have the Nemean lion, the slaying of the lion. They showed you the learned Hydra, the slaying of the Hydra forged by Hera. They didn't go through the Syrian hide. He had to acquire the hide of a Syrian of the Syrian and the cheetah antelope type creature. They did go over the Eurymanthian boar. He had to capture and take it out. And then they did say something about the Ogden stables. The cleaning of the stables which has over 1,000 cattle. Um, they didn't go into the birds, the cement, Stipflamthian, I think I'm saying that right. Birds. He had to destroy these birds with the bronze and with sharp metal feathers. Mythology, you gotta love it. And then there was the Creatine Bull, which didn't really make the cut here as well. Basically, I think the last 5 or 4 didn't work, didn't make the cut. Then you have the mares of Diomedes, the belt of Hippolyta, and the cattle of Geryon, and the last two, the apples of Hesperus and Cerberus, the three-headed dog. They actually do the three-headed dog, but the other few that I just mentioned, they don't go through at all, which is kind of upsetting because, like I said, a movie just on the 12 labors itself would have been amazing, and with this type of a cast is actually kind of cool. Because you had Dwayne the Rock Johnson, who played Hercules, who was actually really fit and really toned down. He lost a lot of weight to play this role, and I actually like him as much as a lot of people like him at this weight and at this size. Because he's a little shorter, he's a little less beefy. He acted well in it. He did well in it. They must have done some really great training with him for fighting, because he did the fighting styles in this movie, even not even just by The Rock, it was pretty much by everybody, did really well. And then you had Ian McShane, who was hilarious, and then you had John Hurt was in it, again, fantastic actor, Shakespearean actor. And then you have Joseph Fiennes, who you definitely all know. uh, you know the the list can go on here, and it's actually really great to see some of the great actors be in a movie that you know that's technically supposed to be about myths and stories. You know, I've always loved Greek mythology, even as a kid. In social, not in social, in English class, we would read like the Iliad, Homer's Iliad, and about Odysseus. And it was always catch my attention. I always wanted to know more, and then I just grew into this, like, I guess you could call it a fandom, if you will, because I mean I didn't live through it. This mythology stuff is so much fun to watch, and I'm definitely recommending this film, especially if you're a Greek mythology fan, or if you're a Percy Jackson fan, or any of those other movies. Hercules was, in my mind, this movie was actually done really well for Hercules' story, because they actually bring in Hera as well, and that he killed his family. That's Hercules. That's the story we wanted to see. Obviously Disney's not going to do it, and Clash of Titans was way off track with their mythology, so we had to be done with Hercules. Tell me I didn't just do that. And it just worked out so well, and I want you guys to see this, and you guys should definitely check it out. Also, what you guys should check out is my channel, so make sure you guys should like, subscribe at the end of this. Do yourself a favor and get more of this awesomeness and coolness. As you can see behind me, our next adventure will be the Guardians of the Galaxy, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that.